starts with brown, pink, and purple granny square centers, and I have 8 brown, 7 pink, 7 purple, and I start with the brown, and the last one is brown as well, and they follow this pattern of the first 3 options. So let's start with the center of the granny squares, and that's only the first row actually. You can start with a magic ring, or you can start with a slip knot and chain 4. And then going back into the first chain, we're gonna close that ring, and we're gonna be working into that ring here. We have chain 3, and then 2 double crochets here. And I'm carrying my tail inside the ring as well, so I don't have to weave it in later. And then chain 2 for the next granny cluster, and then we're gonna have 3 double crochets. So we do count the first chain as a double crochet. And then again, we're gonna have chain 2, and we'll finish with 2 more granny clusters and chain 2 for a total of 4 granny clusters. And when you reach the end, at the top of the chain, you're gonna draw a loop through there and do a slip stitch into your chain. And then I went ahead and I pulled my tail so I can close the hole, or you can leave it as a hole as you want, and you chain and you just weave in that end here so it's secure. So you have 4 chain spaces with 4 clusters, and you do as many as you want your shawl long to be. So if you want a longer shawl, you do more these as a foundation pattern here. And let's make one in purple. If you want to do one with a magic circle, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to chain 3, and then we'll do the granny clusters. So the first granny cluster has chain 2 and 2 double crochets, and then chain 2 for the space, and then 3 double crochets to make the cluster. And then we repeat that for a total of 4 granny clusters and 4 chain spaces. Now that you have as many as you need for your pocket shawl, we're gonna start with connecting those granny cluster centers. So make a slip knot here for your next color, and you can of course change those colors, it's up to you. So we're gonna start from the corner, and we'll do a single crochet there with our slip knot, and then chain 2 for our first double crochet. And over here we're gonna have another cluster of 3 double crochets, but we count the chain, so we have the chain and the cluster. We have the chain and the 2 double crochets, and then we will continue with our corners, because they're technically corners here. So chain 2, and then another cluster here with 3 double crochets, and then we move to the next corner, and then we carry all these tails behind, or you weave them in at the end, it's up to you. And then we have again a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and again in the same space we have another cluster. So this is how we're gonna go for each granny square. And we go into the next one, and we do the same thing. We just gonna stop there. Okay, here we have chain 2, and then 3 double crochets, and into that last space we will do only 3 double crochets, and that's it. We're gonna stop here so we can start connecting to the next center. So we're gonna chain 2, and then we're gonna turn our granny square like that, and we're gonna grab the next granny square, and we're going to be working in any of those chain spaces. So you keep that side open over here, and yarn over here, because we're preparing for the next double crochet, and into the corner here we do a double crochet, and we do 3 double crochets in that corner. and we go into the space between the double crochets of the first, and we do a slip stitch. And now we are ready for the next corner, and we do 3 double crochets here, chain 1. Now we're gonna go into that corner of the previous piece. We're gonna do a slip stitch, we're gonna chain 1, and now we're gonna finish that corner here. And then here we are with the next cluster of double crochets. Here we connected the corners and we are ready to move into the next corner. And we'll do just regular 3 double crochets because we're going to be connecting the next piece into that corner here. So chain 2 and finish your corner. There we have it. And then we are moving into the next corner and we are doing only 3 double crochets. And that's it. And here I started with a purple, but you can start with a brown, so it's really up to you how you want to order your corners. So with the next piece, we're going to chain 2 again, and we're going to turn again our piece this way, and we're going to add the next piece, and then the next piece, and the next piece, and then they're going to start growing this way, just like that. And once you reach the end, we're going to be going backwards and closing that first row. And that's it. It's so simple. So once you reach the end, you just keep working into your last piece. Finish your corner here going backwards with 3 double crochets here. And then you're going into the next cluster, which is halfway finished, right? So we do 3 double crochets here. And now we're just going to have to connect to that chain space we have. And we do chain 1, do a single crochet into that space, and then chain 1, and we are moving into the next chain space here of the next granny cluster. We already have 3 on this side, so we just need 3 on this side. And that's how we're going to go all the way. We're just going to keep repeating that part from here to here for each piece all the way till the end. You're working this row over here, this row. And when we reach to the beginning again, we're going to be slip stitching into that chain here we did, so we can close that row. And that's it. So now we're going to have to move to the corner here, so we can do one more row of clusters all around. So now we are moving into that next row after connecting the middles. So this is it, over here. So this is the row we are working, the row before the dark brown. Yeah, over here if it's easier to see. So we did this row, now we are working on this row. And then we're going to be switching colors. So over here is very easy. With a slip stitch, we'll move to the corner, 2 slip stitches, and then the 3rd slip stitch is inside the chain space. Then we have chain 2 for the first double crochet. We could do counted, and then we're going to have a cluster. We have 2 double crochets. With the chain we have 3, and then chain 2 because it's a corner, and then 3 double crochets again, and then into the next space between the clusters we'll do just a regular granny cluster with 3 double crochets, and then we have a corner again, which will be 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. And then we have again the separation here between the granny clusters. There is no chain, so we just gonna go into that spot, 3 double crochets. And now we reach here the 2 corners between the pieces. Each corner will just get 3 double crochets, and that's it. We are not going to do anything fancy here. So we did this corner, now we're going to go into this corner, and we have 3 double crochets. And this is all we do. We go through the corners. There. This is how it's gonna go. And I'll meet you when I come all the way here till the end. And you can just pause and you just go backwards if you need to see the stitches again. I reach the end of my row. At the top of the chain here, I'll do a slip stitch, and that's how I'm gonna finish in a chain, and I'm finishing that row here. And now I will switch to the next color. You can either cut the color here and each time start with a new loop and a new color, or you can carry those colors at the same time. They're just gonna go in the same direction. They're not gonna be flipping over. And let me show that. I actually did this. I did go without cutting. So what I did is I went with the slip stitches till the end of my work, here to the corner, and then I just secured my end, right? And I stopped my work. Here with the next color, I did a slip stitch and I just worked it normal. So over here, I started with a single crochet with my new color, chain 2, and then I turned. So now into the next space between the granny clusters, I'll do 3 double crochets, and all the way till the end. In the spaces, I'll do 3 double crochets. So I'll have 3 rows of this dark brown, and then in between I'll have 2 rows of the beige color. And that's how I will alternate those first 5 rows. And then we'll switch to pink, and then to purple, and then we'll repeat again the same colors. I have one more granny cluster here to do. And into the last row, into the last spot, I will just put a double crochet here. And now my color will wait on this side. I'll go back to the beginning and I'll grab my next color. And I'm okay if they don't alternate back and front, back and front. And over here, I'll start with a loop and then chain 2. This is the first double crochet of the granny cluster, and then we'll have our 2 double crochets, and then all the way till the end with 3 double crochets in each spot. Once I reach the end, before I finish my last stitch, I will grab my new color from the bottom, and I will keep it loose so it doesn't smoosh my stitches too much. And then chain 2, because on top of that granny cluster we'll have nothing, right? And then into the space between them, we'll do 3 double crochets again. And that's how we're gonna go. And then we'll go back and we'll bring the white to the other side again without cutting. When we add the new color, then we'll cut them both. And the new color will just begin just the way we did this. We will not finish the stitch. We'll use it with a new color. I'll show you just in a second. So once you do your last double crochet here, even you did finish it, we're just gonna unfinish it. So with a new color, do your slip stitch here, slip knot, and then take that last stitch back. So you have 2 loops on your hook, and then with a new color, you just finish it with it. I do a little chain here just to make sure it's super secure. And those ends, we're gonna cover them with the last row. So really, these will not show much. And then you start again with your new color, chain 2, and then do your clusters just the way we did with everything. And this is how I alternated them. And of course, if you want a wider shawl, you can add more rows. If you want it skinnier, you can stop at one point. And let's make the pockets, since it's a pocket shawl. The pockets start with chain 30. So slip knot here, and then chain 30. Once you chain 30, into the 3rd stitch from the hook, we'll do a double crochet, and then one more double crochet next into the next stitch, and we have a cluster here of 3 double crochets. Then we'll skip one chain here, but we will not chain on top, so we'll just skip a chain and then 3 double crochets again, and all the way till the end. And then again we'll skip one chain and then 3 double crochets, and we'll do this all the way till the end. And we will have a total of 7 clusters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clusters. If you made a longer chain, that's fine. You can stop here. I usually do that. I do longer chains and then I stop when I'm done with the size I want. Not a big deal. We just unravel it or cut it. And after that, we're gonna do the same pattern we did here. I wanted to show, if you want, in this case, I did not carry the same brown and beige color. I changed the color at each row. So, in changing the color, I can show here as well. Here, I will take this one out and just do a slip knot here, single crochet, how you want to call it. It doesn't really matter, but I'll chain 2 and then I'll go into that space. And there, this is my last row here, and I weaved in at the ends as much as I could, and that's how I'm gonna finish all the way till the end. And now we will sew those on the shawl following the colors, so it's a little bit camouflaged here. So I will go like 1, 2, 3, 4 clusters up, and I will make sure they match the spots, and on the other side as well with my 2 pockets. And once I do that, you can go and finish your shawl with just double crochets all around. So just start with any color you want your last row to be, and in each stitch gets a single crochet, and in the corner I did 3 single crochets, so we can turn that corner, and then we keep doing single crochets all the way around to make it pretty. And each stitch, when we get to the parts where the stitches are, it's going to be again 2 single crochets in each stitch. So here I am at the posts of the double crochets here on the side. Each post will get 2 double crochets. Here is the next one, and here's from the cluster. And you see here when I switched to the next color, it got a little bit ugly, so I'm just gonna cover it with 2 single crochets, and then into the next one, and you cannot even tell I made a boo-boo there. And just like this, I'm going back to the beginning. I decided to go with that pink color, and I started from the pink color on the shawl with a slip stitch. I'll finish that and a chain to secure the spot, and I'm done all around. Any color will be pretty to finish your piece, and I'm gonna be sewing the pockets right now. I'm picking the stitches here on the side with the purple, and I will switch to my colors when I move to the other side. So not too tight. You want to fit like a phone here, maybe your glasses, even a water bottle, if you ask me, can fit because it's stretchy. Make sure you subscribe and check my other pocket shawl with a fun Suzette stitch. I'm going through the stitches here in the middle through the brown stitches here, and I'm trying to match the cluster to the cluster. Of course, if you had the pockets done beforehand, you can even crochet them here as you go. Oh, and don't forget to like the video.